Hi there, this is Caroline Evans. I'm a herbalist, naturopath and nutrition consultant, and I am talking to you about a number of herbs in nature. That's what I do. One of the many things I do is I run a YouTube channel where I'm showing you what you can do with what's growing in your back garden, in the hedgerows and at different seasons and different times of the year. So today, who we're talking about is one that's very dear to my heart, and this is called the daffodil, otherwise known as the humble Narcissi, first discovered, or first logged, should I say, in 300 BC by the Greek physician Theophrastus. And he noted the hundreds and hundreds of varieties of Narcissus that they are. Like, I used to believe that the larger one was the daffodil and the smaller ones were the Narcissi, but actually they're all the family of Narcissus. So it's really, there are a lot of them. I was looking for the wild daffodil in order to do this video. However, I couldn't find one, and I could only find, because I think they're almost extinct nowadays, I could only find daffodils also right by the roads outside people's houses, which is stunning. But of course, you're right by the road. So I've brought you into my garden today. So, medicinal qualities of these guys. Well, they are quite a lot of medicinal qualities. Number one, it is very good for wounds, for packing wounds when you're having, there's a lot of pain. Say you've burnt yourself or you've got an open wound that's very, very painful. If there's nothing else about, you could pack it with the Narcissus, and it will make it numb because it's got these alkaloids in it. Like, some are pretty toxic, which is why you don't ingest this in any way, shape or form at all, and you only use the medicine if you've got a qualified practitioner there to help you, because literally it will it can, like I said, it can cause numbness. So people have used it historically to induce vomiting. It's also been very good for coughs and colds. It also is good for inducing diarrhea. Now, there's a time and a place for inducing vomiting or inducing diarrhea. So Narcissus is the name that you will have heard many times, and it has a mythological history. And one such is the Greek, there was a Greek youth called Narcissus. Now, he was incredibly vain, incredibly loved himself so much, and what was more was that he was so cruel to everybody else. He was so rude and dismissive, and you don't deserve to spend time with me. He was really just not a nice guy, and he was so not nice that he really, really, really upset the gods. So they decided, you know what, enough with this guy. We don't like this guy at all. We're going to curse him. So that's what they did. So the next time he went to the river, he went to drink from the river. The curse came upon him, and he saw his reflection, and he totally fell in love with his own reflection. And that was it. He was so enamored with himself and so in love with himself that he literally couldn't leave the river, because that was just death to him. So literally he died on the spot there, staring at himself in the river. And from his body came the humble Narcissus. It's a nice or not nice little bit of mythology. So why is also this plant associated with the Welsh? And being Welsh, I'm always wearing my daffodil on St. David's Day. I did have it earlier, but I have many children now that will pluck it quickly. But what we generally do on St. David's Day, which is the 1st of March, to celebrate the patron saint of Wales, is we pop in our daffodil and off we go. Now, there are many schools of thought as to why we wear a daffodil, the Welsh, on St. David's Day. One is because they also wear the leek, the Welsh do. So one such reason is that St. David used to send the soldiers out to fight the Saxons wearing leeks. He said it would bring them good luck. It was a good strengthener. So they would take it out and that would be their luck. Now, the interesting relationship here is that leek in Welsh, and I have to get this pronunciation right because I know lots of Welsh people, is Cenhenin Beda. Now, Cenhenin Beda means, they call it St. Peter's leek, which is the name of daffodil in Welsh, which is quite lovely. So there can be that correlation too. Also, a very distant relative of mine, David Lloyd George, who ended up being the Prime Minister of the UK at one point, bless him, the only Welsh Prime Minister there was, he just basically suggested that everybody wear this on St. David's Day to support the Prince of Wales back then, in 1911, 1915 it was. So he was really instrumental in bringing that about. But either way, it's always been associated with the Welsh, and we always do wear them. But for me, it's also been a sign of spring. I mean, really, it just symbolises nature's cheeriness, the optimism that spring is coming, and it really does. So I really love the daffodil for that cheer that she brings us in the hedgerows, that you definitely know that spring is coming when you see it. So, and I always sing this with my kids, so I'll sing it to you today. Spring is coming, birds building their nests. Weave together straw and feather, each will do their best. Spring is coming, flowers are coming through. Pansies, lilies, daffodillies, all are coming through, all are coming through. Have a wonderful spring, it's just beginning. Enjoy. Good night.